Shout out YouTube. What up? You know how we do. Back at it. Little remix banger. And try to do this thing real quick. Shout out Houston, 5th Ward, 3rd Ward, 4th Ward, you know it. Galleria, Greens Point, aka Guns Point, Southwest, Sunnyside, Bel Air, Richmond, Galleria. You know how we do. Yeah, we're going to get into it. Talk about this game a little bit. Tell you my thought process. Trying something a little different on the channel. We got AD, the rim protector. You got to have that in your life. Yeah, and we're just going to try to push with LeBron James. Talk about the game, talk about the philosophy, talk about our opponent a little bit, and see if we can detect any particular style differences or anything like that. Of course, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Big ups. Warren NW at YouTube. That's us. So I see a lot of folks are watching the games. I think you're liking them, seeing a lot of likes. But let's get the subscription base up. Let's try to push toward 30 this upcoming week. We're gonna get some new games on the channel. I'm gonna be trying to add at least a couple commentary games. I'll pick out a couple random games on the channel, go back, watch them, talk about it with you guys. Hopefully you guys are leaving some comments in the chat. If I'm trash, let me know. Tell me what I should be doing different, yada yada. Well, let's get back into it. All right, so our opponent doesn't particularly have, I can't figure out his style just yet. He hadn't scored. I could be way overmatched here. He just doesn't really seem like he knows what he's doing. No cohesion. So this might be an ugly one, chat. It could get GG's early. I don't know. As I say, I grab these games randomly. I don't know if I won or lost. We just want to make sure we're playing generally against ourselves, right? You know, making sure we're holding to our philosophy, keeping our opponent within the 60s, making sure our analytics are up to par. We want to shoot about 10 3-pointers per half. And we only want to shoot layups, dunks, free throws, and threes. That's it. Other than that, it's a bad shot in my book. So we take a look at our opponent, steps back, tries to make the three, and we're just going to keep pushing, chat. You know, we don't care who scores. We're just going to keep pushing. Give the ball to the open man and kick it out to LeBron. LeBron's going to try to make a move. He can't make a move. He's going to look to kick. You know, hopefully we're not going to be forcing. There's the kick. Danny Green, 3, and buckets. And that's kind of how it's done, folks. You know, that's kind of how it's done. We want to make sure that we are staying within our philosophy, making our opponent play to us. And also, chat, let's make sure that whenever you have an opportunity, make sure you're in your adjustments. You want to make sure all your players are guarding up tight. Particularly, I like to switch on screens. There's some really good stuff, though. You can, if a player's like really heavy on pick and roll and he only wants to use the pick and roll for, like, say, like a player like Steph to get open so he can shoot, you can double team the pick and roll. I've done that as well. So, but the key is just making sure you have your AI guys ready to play defense. So they're not chasing guys, and not, you know, sitting off balls on screens and that sort of thing. So make sure you're kicking it up ahead to the open man and take the open shot. These guys are professionals, right? So let's get back into this a little bit. We're going to do some commentary. LeBron James looks to push ahead rather. Always want to push. The reason for that puts the defense in a perilous position, right? Because if you are pushing, then sometimes you'll find a mismatch, you know, a big on a small on a big, and you can take advantage of that. So that's why you always want to push instead of, you know, walking the ball up. Push, try to put pressure on, and try to get your opponent into some mistakes. And as you see, we jumped out on this guy. I don't know how long this guy's going to play. I'd be surprised if he plays, you know, we up 11-0. I've jumped out on guys 6 points and they quit. So big ups to this guy. Keeps playing. Hopefully he'll learn something. And hopefully we won't let him back in the game. I mean, I've jumped out on guys too, and been up 15 and end up losing. It's just something. It's weird. Just takes a couple shots, guys, and you can be right back in the game. Don't forget the three-point line has revolutionized basketball. It's not just a specialist shot anymore. Everybody who plays basketball should have a three-pointer in their bag. And if you don't, at this stage, 2024, you probably shouldn't be playing the game. Just to let you guys know as well, I do referee high school basketball. And so I have a, kind of a deep understanding for the game. I've read some basketball philosophy books, that sort of thing. I'm a basketball junkie. I don't watch as much as I want to, and I don't watch every game. Life, work, all that good stuff. You just don't have the time to watch every game that you want to. But I do watch every Laker game. I watch every LeBron game. It's just we're watching walking history. And for those that don't understand, when this dude is done, we may not see another guy like him. The scoring accolades, and scoring is not even his best attribute. It's his passing. And that's why I love him so much, and that's why I use him in this game, because a lot of people use LeBron James as a scorer. And I use him as a passer. He can get around pretty much anybody on the game, and then when the defense comes over, he just makes the right play. In this game, as I use him, and in real life, if you look at how he plays, he just plays the game the right way. Sometimes to a detriment. I mean, some people early in his career said he didn't have the Jordan instinct, the killer instinct, that sort of thing. But the guy just plays the right way. He's always going to pass the ball to the open person. He doesn't care what the time score situation is. He's just going to make the right play. That's just who he is, and that's what I love about him. So I love him in this game. I have only played the NBA, the EA NBA franchise in my life. I don't like 2K. I never was a fan of it, even though some of the iterations of the games were better than the EA iteration. I just prefer the EA iteration. And we look at this guy now. He's down a dub in the first quarter. This guy hasn't scored. I don't think I've ever even done that before. But this is where we are. And it looks like he's going to keep playing. So big up to him. We'll see how long it lasts. But, I'm not trying to, really trash the guy. But it's, I'm putting it on him. So it's ugly. We'll see how it plays out. But so far, it's ugly. All right, so look, we're just going to keep pushing. That's the dribble drive. We'll step back. And now, see, that was an automatic animation by Caldwell Pope. I didn't do that. I don't even know how to do the step back. So I was just glad that he did it. He took the three-pointer, and, he took it, and he made it, and he called it good. So I was happy about that. But I'm not I don't step back. I'm not that kind of guy. I don't even know how to in these games. Let's see how it plays out. So it looks like he's got his first two with not even Russell Westbrook or James Harden. So most of the time I see Houston a lot. It's a lot of James Harden. Hell, I've had James Harden drop 50 on me. And chat, as you'll see, I made a mistake. I didn't set my lineup apparently right, because Rondo's in the game, which anybody who knows me knows my philosophy. I don't play with guys like Rondo. Rondo doesn't dunk the ball. So therefore, and the animation layups are just, I don't know. I look at that big dunk by LeBron. I mean, seriously, dude. This dude, he better know what he's in for. And we're just going to keep playing. We're not going to take anything for granted. We're going to look, defense, got the steal. And we're just going to keep playing. We're not going to play the scoreboard. I've been in this position, been down, and have come back and won these types of games. So, the whole key is stay with it. You'll learn something. And he looks like he's getting a little momentum. He's made a couple plays back-to-back, scored a couple times back-to-back, which he hadn't done the whole game. So now he might be figuring it out a little bit. And, even though it looks like we're up big, a couple 2-3 threes from Harden, and he's right back in the game. So, we want to make sure we stay on him. Now, chat, there have been a lot of games that I didn't put on the channel because people have quit. I was just really, therefore, for the most part, trying to only have complete games. So, guys would quit and I just wouldn't post the game. But I talked to another person who's got a similar channel. Big up Tory T. I need to find out his channel name so you guys can send him some love, because he kind of plays his game in this style as well. He's a really good player. Looks like he uses sometimes the player aids as the lines on who you're going to pass to and things like that, which I don't. I try to take all of that off. I want the game to look as much like a real game as possible. But he's a really good player, and he told me, he's like, look, every game that you record, just put it on the channel. It doesn't matter. So I've been kind of doing that. Most of the games, unless it's something compelling, if it's not at least a 10-15 minute game, I still don't put it on the channel. I think I've got some games on the channel 6-7 minutes, but it's just been where, maybe somebody's jumped out on me 7-0, and then I made my adjustments, and then I just jumped back out on them, and then they've quit. So you'll see a lot of that too, but we're just trying to bring good content. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the channel so we can bring more of these games to you. For the most part, it looks like it's going to be a lot of NBA Live this winter. Basketball's coming back. I was excited over the summer. The Olympics was back. The feeling was back. So I think the NBA is going to be really good. I'm a college basketball fan as well. Used to follow my hometown team, the Kentucky Wildcats, but since they bugged out and wanted to get rid of Cal, only the best coach they've ever had, so now I'll be following a lot of Arkansas. I'll still be keeping my eye on Kentucky, but I'll be following a lot of Arkansas basketball, hoping that Cal still is putting a lot of young fellas in that league like he has been. So let's get back to the game, though. It's not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, we're up pretty big. Our opponent doesn't seem to quite have a grasp on what they want to do. Like that shot right there, not the best shot. The guy was guarded. I think it might have been Russell Westbrook, who we know has had some struggles with his shot. So shooting, having Russell Westbrook take a contested three-point shot's not the best use of Russell Westbrook. But I digress. So look, we're looking to utilize our dribble drive. We want to get to the middle of the floor. We want to put pressure in the paint, on the paint. And as you see, we're struggling a little bit. We got Rondo in the game, who's not one of my favorite players. I love Rondo in real life. But as far as the game, he doesn't dunk. I'm not quite sure of his shooting ability. I think I've made a couple threes with him, but he doesn't give me the most confidence, so I really don't play him at all. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. And we're just looking to put up some really good content for you guys. So like and subscribe, share the videos, cut them up into shorts. Make sure you leave me some comments, clown me. If you want to play me, shoot me a comment. I as a matter of fact, I played a couple people who've left some comments. They were like, hey, play me. I'm like, hey, let's hook it up. So, shoot me some comments. You want to play, let's play. Of course, the game's going to go on the channel. If you beat the stew out of me, it's going to go on the channel. And, you'll be able to brag, say, yo, that dude is making those weird YouTube videos. I beat him, and it's on the channel. So, and some of the guys that I do play, especially if we have a really good game, I will send a message on PS and say, hey, here's your game on the channel, check it out. And I've had some people check it out, and they're like, oh yeah, I like that, it looked good, and want to play you again. I played a guy, we did a 7-game series. I won the series. Unfortunately, on the channel, all the games are not labeled because anybody that knows this game knows that sometimes it just disconnects. I don't know, they're not keeping up with the servers, that sort of thing. So the game will disconnect from time to time. Let's take a look at the stats real quick, and I'll get back to that. 6 of 9 from 3, 2 for 7 from 3. So yeah, that's what we want to do. Like I said, shoot about 10 threes per half, 20 for the game, but within the offense. We're not going to chase three-pointers. We're not going to, if guys are just getting to the rim and I got 40 dunks, that's what I'm going to take. If guys are wide open and I got 43s, that's what I'm going to take. But as I was saying, yeah, check out the channel. I've got a 7-game series, but I wasn't able to label it correctly because 3 of the 4 games we just lagged out, and we lagged out, very early in the game, 5-2 and things like that. And the funny thing is that my opponent, whenever we lagged out, he would always get the win, whether I was leading or he was leading. But of the 4 games that I was able to put up, you all can see that I did win the series. And it says Game 7, championship, yada, yada. And the thing about that is when you play in that format, the crowd is different, especially at home. I think his team, they had a whiteout or something like that. The crowd's a little bit louder. There's a lot of chatter, and there's a lot of chatter on the court and a lot of basketball squeaks on the court. And the in-game commentary is a little bit different as well. So that was pretty cool. That was my first experience with that. So I'm looking to get a couple more 7-game series on the channel. I think that'll be cool. So if anybody wants to do that, hit me up. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Yeah, so we're just testing this thing out with this new commentary that I'm doing over the games. Just trying to talk about the games, my thought process, my philosophy, and just try something new with the channel, just to see if it sparks something in you guys. If you guys like it, you let me know. If you don't, you want to tell me to shut up, tell me shut up, and we'll just go back to regular ball, just watching the games. But I will do commentary a couple, 2-3 times, hopefully a week, on some rando red games, just so you guys can hear my thought process, why I did what, and that sort of thing. Now, right now I'm kind of rambling a little bit. This game's seemingly out of control. Out of hand, rather, for my opponent. So it's not really a lot to commentate on. We can just kind of watch the game. I'll give some rando thoughts, some tips on what can help you guys and that sort of thing. But this game seems like it's not that competitive. As I said, chat, I just pulled rando games. I didn't know what the final score was. I didn't want to go up 20-0 in the first quarter. But it is something for you all to see as well, that it can happen. And as we see, this guy, he's getting back in the game. I mean, he's still playing, which I definitely appreciate. Hopefully he's learning something, and he'll get better for his next opponent. So we're just going to keep probing the paint, as you see, probing, kick out for the 3, rebound, LeBron, kick out, another kick, AD. Hey, we missed 2 wide open 3s, but you got to be willing to take those shots. That just opens up the floor for you against your opponent. And as we see Danny Green with the steal, Danny Green's a really good defensive player at times. He seems to struggle with Steph Curry's step back crossover, which a lot of players do. But you come up against a guy that's mastered that move, it could be lights out for you. James Harden's got a pretty good step back as well, but this guy doesn't seem to know how to use James Harden. Just he wants to run to the spot and try to shoot that cheese. And you can tell guys who know the cheese, because once the game kind of gets out of their grasp, and I'll run to it every once in a while. You'll see me do it too. I'll just come up the floor and go to the cheese spot just to jack something to see if it'll go in. So that's some of the philosophy as well. But overall, the game's really good. It's a fun game. The presentation's really, really good. I mean, you look at that floor, you look at that court. I mean, I play a lot against the Clippers as well. People like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Deadly combination. Kawhi Leonard, he's just a stopper on this game. He's a claw for real. So I look at the difference between the Clipper floor and the Laker floor, even though they play in the same building, and the lighting it's perfect. The Laker floor has more of a stage effect to it, so the court is lit up and the backlight is dim, so it's hard for you to see the fans and that sort of thing. But in the Clipper arena, the lighting is totally different. You can see the fans, that sort of thing. It's pretty much the whole place is bright. So little things like that, I think, make this game stand out, which I think makes it a really good game. Of course, the gameplay is a little lagging. It's an older game, but still, some of the later 2K versions that I've seen, still the gameplay doesn't seem to be as good, and of course the presentation is nowhere near what this presentation is from EA. So shout out to EA, shout out to Live. We need a new Live. As I stated in a previous video, I would love to have the latest edition of Live. Of course, Wimby, Ant Edwards, all the young guys that have sprung up. Shea Gill Alexander, shout out to Kentucky. Shea Gill Alexander, all these guys that are just really, really taking their games to new levels, I think would really make this game just really pop. And addition to the WNBA, the popularity of the WNBA, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, I would love to play with those players. I mean, think about it, guys. You're playing with WNBA and you're playing online head to head and nobody can dunk. Think about how fun that would be. I mean, you're really taking it back to the basic fundamentals of the game. Passing, shooting, dribbling, rebounding, you really, not saying that young women aren't athletic. It's just, of course, not to the athletic prowess that you see of young men. So, therefore, the games would just be a lot different. It would just really make you showcase your fundamentals and fundamental knowledge of the game as we look up, and we're into starting the fourth quarter, and our defense is on par. It's on point. Now our offense is struggling a little bit. I have to say, I think this guy really started to understand the game, really started to understand defense, and we've not been able to put up a ton of points. So this is kind of where we are. It's a really good game. I think you guys should get it. I think you guys should play it. I think you guys should play me. It's not a ton of. It seems like most of the people that are still playing this game are playing. They're playing in the playground, the live run 1-on-1s, or 3v3s, or even 5v5, so that matter. But it's all 5 humans, yada yada. I just don't play that. I don't have the time to play that, and it's not my style. I just like to play straight up 5-on-5 teams versus teams, and call it good that way. And another thing, speaking of games, I'm hoping that EA will bring back the college game. Remember the college basketball game? Shout out if you do. Let me know in the chat if you remember the college football games. Coach K, I think that was one of the names of the game. Coach K, I think it was EA college basketball. Shout out to Ed and Charlie and Ed O'Bannon. I think they started this whole thing with player, image and likeness, right? Name, image, and likeness. They are the original people who sued the NCAA and EA Sports. They were featured on one of the games back in the 90s, one of the college games, and they were really good. That was a UCLA team. That game was so fun. And they started this whole thing, and they are partly the reasons why we don't have college basketball in particular, and they are the reasons why we didn't have college football, and college football just came back, and they are the reasons now that these guys in college are getting paid. So shout out to the O'Bannons. They were visionaries. They knew that, hey, there's billions of dollars going around and we're not making none of it. So shout out to those guys. They really changed the landscape of amateur athletics, if we still want to call it that. But yeah, hopefully they'll bring back a basketball game, as we see Jared Dudley bang a 3. You can't be afraid to shoot with anybody in these games. Hopefully they'll bring it back. So that's where we are. Just doing a little commentary for you guys. Want to say what's up to the chat. Want to say what's up to all my subscribers. I think we're up to close to 20. Man, if we could get 25 to 30 this week, just to show you guys are listening, you guys care, let me know. Hey, keep doing what you're doing. I'm doing this for you guys. Of course, I love to play the game, but I love to record it and upload it so you guys can see it. That's the reason why I do it for the most part. And we'll incorporate a couple more games here moving forward in the future. I'm looking to get a racing rig. I love car racing. Seto Corsica is a great game. But I am limited to console. I don't do PC gaming. So we'll just be limited to console. We're going to be doing mostly simulator games, basketball simulators, football simulators. Yeah, I've even got some police simulators. I've got some. Check out the channel, folks. I've got some Bonnie and Clyde, what I call. That's from GTA 6, where myself and another player we play together. So we just, we play together. We run around the city, wrecking shop. We got some pretty funny videos up. There's no commentary with those. It's just all straight gameplay. I think I might go back and grab some random videos and do some commentary over that. But for the most part, I'm concentrating on NBA Live, as I just think it's one of the better played head-to-head games out there, at least sports games that I've found. So for now, we're going to be concentrating on NBA Live, getting in our bag, getting those Lakers, making them unstoppable, unbeatable. If you guys have any tips for me, you let me know. Any players I should be looking at other than the players that I generally use in my rotation, let me know. I want to see you guys live in the comments. I want to see you bigging up in the comments. And then hopefully one day, we'll take this series live, right? I'll set a time, maybe on a Friday night or something like that, or Saturday night. Set a time that I'll go live. I'll pick out a random game. We'll throw it up, and we'll just do some commentary on it. We'll respond to you guys in the chat. I'd like to do that. I'd like to engage with you guys as much as possible. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. As we see, who's that? Clint Capella missing a dunk. Infuriating. That'll make you upset. And now look at me, chat. I thought the guy made the shot. And when I played this live, and I remember this because I may have been talking on the phone when I was playing this game. Sometimes it happens. It's called life. I think I may have got a phone call or something, probably work related. And so I'm playing the game still. As I don't want to pause my opponent. Definitely don't want to pause the chat. Pause the feed. So I'm playing, and I thought guy made that dunk. So LeBron has the ball in his hands, and we're trying to take it out. That's what we were doing. So, stupid of me not paying attention, but we're still working our dribble drive. And it's hard for me to believe that this guy, he hasn't figured out kind of what I've been doing. But that's the way some people are. They just, have their own style of play, and, they're just going to put their head down and keep doing what they do, whether it's successful or not. I'm kind of in that same category, but however, I want to play in my philosophy, right? So, look, we dribble drive. We kick, we dribble, we kick. We miss shots, we miss shots. But the thing is, we want to take the open shot. So, if I miss my shots, that's just what it is. I'm not going to change it up. But for some of these guys, when their stuff is not working, say for instance, just trying to get to the hole with LeBron James or something like that, they won't switch it up. And it always kind of amazes me and amuses me that they won't switch it up. So as we see, dribble drive, kick, Kyle Kuzma, wide open three. We'll take it. And this game's winding down. My opponent wasn't that good. I think he got better throughout the course of the game. But as we see, still taking some crazy shots. And we're still going to push. We're going to push. We're going to try to attack the rim, dribble drive, and kick. There it is. And as I said, I'm not upset if we don't make every shot as long as it's the shot that I want. And the shots that I want are dunks, layups, free throws, three-pointers. Not in any particular order, but those are the shots that we want. So, as we take a look, up 24. And so the opponent, he's still in it. Luke thinks he's coaching, but he's not. He is trash. But it's I'm just glad that I have this opportunity for you guys. I'm glad that you guys are watching. You guys are subscribing. It's ticking up slowly, and let's make sure that we show love to the channel. That's what it's all about. I'm subscribed to several channels. I watch my guys and watch my channels. I subscribe. I like, comment when I can, and yeah, that's what we'd love for you guys to do. So yeah, we're just doing this thing. What is it? The 4th? Yeah. See, look, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, that's piling on." Look, you might find yourself in a situation to where you're down, and you got to be able to practice that shot and make that shot. So, I'm generally when I play, not only am I playing my opponent, I'm playing myself. So as we take a look at the stats, 56 points by me, not great. I like to play in the 60s and above. But I think our opponent really got better on the defensive end as we look at our other stats. And yeah, if you can, look at your stats. Look and see kind of what you did. Get a philosophy about yourself. Look at your opponent's stats. And then look at the individual player stats. See who did what. And that'll kind of gauge you. And then we're going to look at the shot chart. And we look at my shots. And as we see, we had kind of one bad shot there that was in the middle. So big ups, GGs, like, subscribe.